Hello and welcome to, another video of the overview. Another, video when it comes to the overview. So, we're starting back where we were. And, it's a congressional republic. Now, let me see. What do we have here? Because, let's look at this. So, this republic is a democratic form of oligarchy where the legislative and executive powers are merged together in a Congress occupied by elected representatives of the population with uncontested governing authority. So, yeah. Quite oligarchic. Idyllic bloom. This society has always spent much time on improving and caring for their environment, in pursuit of building a true paradise for its inhabitants. While political pluralism in the society, lively public debate about any topic is encouraged through a very diverse parliamentary system. Carrying favor with one of the dominant political factions can prove to be quite advantageous. Cosmic scale liberalism. Freedom is not something that can be achieved only in one's own country, but it should be achieved on a galactic scale. Divine Council. The government is overwatched by a council of the empire's most influential religious leaders. Functional architecture, it's kind of in the name, isn't it? Libertarianism advocates liberty in society, promotes autonomy and political freedom, emphasizing free association, freedom of choice, voluntary association, and individualism, and basing its efficiency on reduced centralization of power and regulations. So, yes, they're a democratic state. Fanatic militarist. The ability to project power is of paramount importance. The only way to preserve our way of life is to make sure everyone shares it, willingly or not. Fanatic spiritualist. Our science has proven that conscious begets reality. We regard with patience the childlike efforts of those who delude themselves in the other way. It is the other way around, as they play with their blocks of hard matter. Parliamentary Republic. Well, you've seen that one. I'm only going to read any given one of these probably twice, I think. Maximum. Parliamentary Republic. This republic is a democratic form of polarchy, where the legislative and executive powers are divided and elected representatives gather together in the parliament to discuss issues and approve laws. Political pluralism. In this society, lively public debate about any topic is encouraged through a very diverse parliamentary system. Carrying favor with one of the dominant political factions can prove to be quite advantageous. Streamlined processes. This society is renowned for its efficiency. Not only do the mag trains run on time, but the colossal bureaucratic apparatus required to run an interstellar nation has been greatly streamlined. Free haven. This society has a well-earned reputation as a free haven. The tired, the poor, the huddled masses yearning to breathe free, all are welcome here, regardless of their species or origin. Crusader spirit. The lack of guidance creates weak minds which easily succumb to corruption and plunge into decadence. The society has assumed the self-imposed mandate of bringing enlightenment to the masses through aggressive proselytizing. Mining League. Several large mining guilds have organized themselves into economic unions that reached a dominant position in the society. The League's contributions to the Empire's economy is so strong, so the government relies heavily on its support. Libertarians. Yep, you can see that. Xenophile. There exists in all of us a deep-seated fascination for the unknown, an adventurous spirit that rejects the familiar and glories in the unfamiliar, whatever or whomever it may be. Militarist. The only virtues are courage and discipline, and channeled properly they can overcome any obstacle. There lies true strength. Force withheld, a promise made. Yep. Fanatic materialist. Although it hurts, we must grow up and put aside our outdated notions of morality. There is no divine spark granting special value to a living mind. No objective has any intrinsic value apart from what we choose to grant it. Let us embrace the freedom of certitude and achieve maximum efficiency in all things. Okay. Our first theocracy in a while. I am very much aware that anybody that's in the know is gonna know exactly what this state is. And it's gonna make sense very, 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 very soon. Oh, it'll make so much sense very soon. Ecclesiastical Empire. This empire is an ecclesiastical form of monarchy where organized religion is widely employed in the state apparatus, and imperial legitimacy emanates from the church. Theocracy. Religious leaders occupy all leading administrative positions in order to guide society against heresy. Militant zealots. Religious fundamentalists whose armies maintain a strong tradition of intense physical and spiritual training so that they may always be ready to protect their religious beliefs from those who may wish to defile them. Police state. To quash any trace of dissent, the population in this repressive society is carefully monitored and controlled by a large internal police force. Inquisition. This imperial cult has an independent inquisition sanctioned by the state which fervently seeks out any behavior that goes against the imperial church. Crusader spirit. The lack of guidance creates weak minds which easily succumb to corruption and plunge into decadence. This society has assumed the self-imposed mantle of bringing enlightenment to the masses through aggressive proselytizing. Elitism. We must recognize that there is a natural order of things. Some are destined for greatness, some are destined to live in obedient, some are destined to live an obedient and quiet life under the shadow of their superiors. Yeah. Some are destined for greatness, some are destined to live an obedient and quiet life under the shadows of their superiors. Yep, I said that correctly. An obedient Yep. Okay, I said it correctly the first time. Done. Maybe not. Actually, no, I didn't. At least I got right the first time. Anyway. You've seen those two. Well, anyway. Political pluralism. Okay, demonstration culture. The right to demonstrate is widely recognized in this society, making it easy for groups and activists of various ideologies to make their views known to society. Healthy habits. The people of this country lead a healthy lifestyle through exercise, diet, and moderate sun exposure. Labor unions. This society's workers are traditionally involved in making decisions and share authority and responsibility in the workplace, which results in increased productivity and service delivery from a more fully engaged and happier workforce. Let's see. Materialist. As we reach for the stars, we must put away childish things, gods, spirits, and other plasmas of the brain. Other phantoms of the brain. Reality is cruel and unforgiving, yet we must steel ourselves and secure the survival of our race through the unflinching pursuit of science and technology. Okay. Another kleptocratic state. Bandit tyranny. This dictatorship is a kleptocratic form of hierarchy ruled by a tyrannical figure that gets the best part of the loot and leads the bandit hordes in their raiding parties. So yeah. Kleptocratic, the rule of the thieves. This society holds few things sacred. To steal is to live, and the cunning may seize whatever they covet. Cutthroat politics. The political system in this society is renowned for its intrigue, power struggles, shady backroom deals, and cloak and dagger scheming are par for the course. Those who survive long enough to learn the game, however, tend to learn it well. Well, healthy habits, yep. Longing for the future. This society is trying to figure out the unknown by itself and use it as a way to the future. Masterful crafters. A penchant for meticulous crafting lies at the heart of this society. Defined appendages and keen sensory organs aid them in creating truly wondrous treasures, even in the most basic of trades. Fanatic elitist. It is undeniable that some are better than others. Attempting to change this is a suicidal assault against nature, for those who are inferior do not possess the capacity to build the future and are only capable of self-destruction. So that's what the state believes in. Yeah. But yeah. Militarist, fanatic, materialist, and academic directorate. I will probably speed through some of these very soon. Academic directorate. This dictatorship is a genocratic form of oligarchy where the deans of the academic institutions form a special class of administrators in charge of steering the nation forward, towards the best path. Ascendant meritocracy. The sole basis for advancement in this society is equal opportunity to demonstrate ability and effort. Thus, leadership positions are held by the most qualified individuals. Genealogy. Geniocracy. The rule of the intelligent. This society values reason and critical thinking so much that only the most intelligent individuals are permitted to have a say in governing matters. Covert service. This society considers it the absolute right of the state to decide where its citizens live and work. Now, police state, to question any trace of dissent or population in this repressive society is carefully monitored and controlled by a large internal police force and functional architecture. But some of the biggest differences are pluralist. Although it hurts, we must grow up and put aside our outdated notions of morality. There is no divine spark granting special value to a living mind. No object has any intrinsic value apart from what we choose to grant it. Let us embrace the freedom of certitude and achieve maximum efficiency in all things. Pacifist. Conflict as a means to an end is a ridiculous concept. It is by nature destructive, destroying what was to be obtained or giving room to grow that which was to be destroyed. Of that which was to be destroyed. Yes. Let's see. Anything? Okay. You've seen all of these, so I'll just basically show you them through, like, you can read it. And, for the cutthroat, by the way, for cutthroat, it basically means that they are very, 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 very much do backstabbing. They have a mining league, so they have a powerful monopoly force. Anyway, now this one needs to be read. This is one of my finest creations. Now, it is a congressional republic, so it is a democratic oligarchy. Mining League. Several large mining guilds have organized themselves into an economic union that reached a dominant position in the society. The League's contributions to the empire's economy is strong, so the government relies heavily on its support. Political pluralism. In the society, lively public debate about any topic is encouraged through a very diverse parliamentary system. Currying favor with one of the dominant political factions can prove to be quite advantageous. Neoliberal. Philosophy for a re-evaluation of individual liberty and market principles against the social market economy. It advocates that government intervention in individuals and markets should be at a minimum. Individualistic rationalist. This government is based on and respecting the consequences of making purely rational decisions. It may exhibit somewhat self-righteous and individualistic behavior and create philosophies that are unpredictable. Elder politics. Older people dominate the government, and skilled government officials make many decisions, but this discourages newcomers from participating in government and reduces the predisposition to accept new ideas. Yes, this one. Now, AI overlordship. This hegemony is an algorithmic form of monarchy administered by a supercomputer that processes all available data and information to make the most accurate decisions regarding social, political and economic problems. Court politics. This country has a court of aides, high-ranking officials, and others around the head of state. Various important matters are decided behind closed doors. Archaeologist. These people love history. They want to know everything about long dead aliens, down to what they eat, what they do on their free time, or even how, in the God's name, they managed to reproduce with 7 arms and equal numbered genitals. Certainly, nobody could understand their obsession, but for them, finding out new things from the past are considered most holy things that anybody could do. Oligarchy. The rule of algorithms. All information processed by society is processed by powerful computers to generate data maps that facilitate taking decisions of government. Big ship policy. This society believes that big ships with big guns reign supreme. Attack above all. People of this society developed a tactic that attacking is the best defense. So they have the code of the offensive. Yep. A Corsair Empire. Kleptocratic. Functional. They have a mining league. Martial upbringing. In this society, infants must be courted and pass martial tests before being recognized as people. Those who fail are euthanized. Corsair Empire. This empire is a kleptocratic form of monarchy where the ruler grants their subjects letters of marque to raid and pillage foreign lands in exchange for a percentage of the loot. So, they're basically pirates. You see all of me? Okay, so, well, they're theocratic. But this is a pontificate. This diocese is an ecclesiastical form of hierarchy, ruled by the head of the official religion, who oversees all matters of governance, with uncontested authority, supported by the hierarchy of the church. Stellaris wars, campaigning in enemy territory to acquire prisoners for sacrificial shrines. It should be an honor for them. Nonetheless, they scream. Sham constitution. Codified law constrains executive power, but the constraints seldom make sense and have nominal implications. Citizens are under the illusion that they have a democratic system, and the experts are babbling on while oppressing the workers. Moral enforcement. This society places its greatest value on one's morality. Those who do not actively fulfill society's moral standards are reborn through calibration and enlightenment. Anything needed to reach absolute morality will be allowed by authorities if it deems to be necessary. Caste system. This society has a strict caste system based on religion, and interaction with those of lower class or changing jobs is strongly restricted. Prophetic cult. This sect is a theocratic hierarchy where a self-proclaimed prophet of the divine influences political life through preachings and sermons. Well, they basically allow the state to determine where they live and work. Theocracy, the rule of the divine. This society is governed by a single individual regarded as a divine entity who wields supreme authority over everyone else. Luminosity cult. Many religions and systems of belief place some level of importance on light as a source of faith. This society simply takes that idea and expands it into the primary focus. Well, they're militant zealots, and they have moral enforcement. You must abide by society's morals, basically. Fanatic xenophobe. Any alien influence must be ruthlessly quashed. Only by staying pure and true to ourselves and the planet that gave us life can we guard against insidious xenopods. Even mastery over the alien may not be enough to guarantee our own safety. Spiritualists. There are those who think it behooves us to remember how teeny we are, how pointless our lives are in the vast, uncaring universe. What nonsense. The only truth we can ever know is that of our own existence. The universe in all its apparent glory is but a dream we all happen to share. Enlightened monarchy. This kingdom is a technocratic form of monarchy where the ruler is taught in political science, economy, and philosophy from birth in order to be wise enough to take the best governance decisions with uncontested authority. Natural heritage. In the society, nature is considered to be national wealth, which ought to be preserved and carefully exploited for the common good. Functional architecture, technocracy. To maximize efficiency, this society is governed according to the principles of science and rationality. The personal whims of an ignorant and dangerously unqualified political elite must not be allowed to interfere. Healthy habits, cramming education. Cramming is a method of education that places an emphasis on increasing the amount of knowledge by rate or aims to increase knowledge. Shogunate. This kingdom is a cratocratic form of monarchy with a society ruled by local warlords and clans united under a single warrior dynasty. Cratocracy. This society has developed into a hardy warrior culture. Martial prowess is valued above all else, and true glory can only be found on the field of battle. They're a police state. They have a big ship policy, martial upbringing. So a lot like the Spartans. Apprenticeship. Technology in this society was passed down man by man in great secrecy for the sake of craftsmanship. Oh, look at that, another creation that's basically the same. Parliamentary republic, so they have a parliament. You see, I'm trying to get through a lot of these. Let's see, so what do we have here? They're technocratic, functional architecture, police state, streamlined process. Well, they have they're very efficient, and society allows the state to, well, determine where its people work and live. Functional architecture, technocratic, believe in science fully. I suppose we could. This is probably the new. This dictatorship is a technocratic form of oligarchy where a committee of specialized social engineers and political scientists supervise the government apparatus. So that's a somewhat big difference. technocrat. This dictatorship is a technocratic form of hierarchy where society is treated as an object of study by the ruler, retrieving data and applying the scientific method to the process of governance. Let's see. So, technocracy, they believe that they can get people to move wherever the state, like the leaders believe they have the right to move everyone and just people in general wherever the state says. Experimental practices. Every day is a paradise as a result of conducting all kinds of experiments on a daily basis and incorporating abstract techniques and theories into everyday life. Look at that, an increase in science. Basically, like physics research 10 plus, society research 10 plus, engineering research 10 plus. Freedom in obedience. This government has strong ideological controls in some areas, but relative free thought and action is tolerated in other areas of life. Yes. Pontificate. Well, it's a state ruled by the head of a church, like the Pope. Bureaucracy, because of absolute centralized power of the leader. Because of absolute centralized power of the leader, that his successors rule under his ideal leadership even after his death. Reanimated. Within the society, death is no bar to the call of arms. Masters of the art of necromancy, reanimate corpses to rise dead hordes and guardians, striking fear into the hearts of lesser mortals. Ascensionist. The ultimate goal of this empire is to ascend to ever greater levels of fulfillment. So this is another AI. Well, let's see. So here we're getting close to the United States. Ooh. Artificial Intelligence Network. This machine intelligence consists of a linked network of semi-autonomous artificial intelligences who together make up a central Gestalt conscious that guides their empire. Yes, so very, very, very much a machine intelligence. Unitary cohesion. Exceptional cohesive engineering standards allow various specialized machine intelligence units to work together at a higher level of efficiency. Extra processors. This conscious dedicates much more resources to exploring the unknown than others would consider reasonable. Diplomat army. This conscious came to the conclusion that if it possessed enough diplomats, nobody could question their actions. Zero waste protocols. This machine intelligence has configured its manufacturing systems to minimize waste, utilizing long-lived materials and standardized replaceable parts in all products. Inquisitive Catalog Index. This machine intelligence devotes an enormous amount of processing power and resources to fulfilling its scientific endeavors. Nothing new here. Political pluralism, functional architecture, covert service, cramming, education, and mining league. But here we go. Here's something new. Here's something new and fun that should be interesting. This should be actually interesting. Ravenous Hive. This government operates as a single organism utterly devoted to self-propagation, with a drone population that cares for nothing besides feeding the endless hunger of the hive. Devouring Swarm. Our hive mind exists only to consume and grow stronger. We will collect all available biomatter and evolve to consume the galaxy. The hive mind reprocesses excess organic matter into advanced resources suitable for space-bound structures. One mind. The hive mind takes care to not let its drones diverge. Strength of legions. When you do not have to educate the mind, the building of muscle becomes that much easier. Aesthetic. The hive mind cares little for material comforts. This republic is a aristocratic form of polarchy where judges serve as administrators of the local governments and gather together in an assembly to pass law reform. Here we go. Diocratocracy. The role of the judges. The judges and magistrates are the only ones with enough knowledge to understand the law. It is only natural that they should be in charge of the whole system. Mutaj spas. This civilization engages in ritualistic mutinage bathing with professional attendants overseeing the use of highly dangerous substances. This invigorating process may appeal uninitiated may appall uninitiated onlookers. Mining League. Natural heritage. Organic architecture. Natural structures are the result of millions of years of evolution to achieve unparalleled degrees of functionality, not to mention beauty. It would be a waste to not take advantage of those free designs provided by nature. Well, I think you know what this is. Warrior State, Assembly of Clans, though. That's the big difference. And they're democratic, so, you know. This tribe is a critocratic form of polarchy ruled by a league of warrior societies gathered together in equal terms. Parliamentary Republic, let's see. Here we go. It's got the three that you all have heard recently, so, you know. Direct democracies are pure democracy is a form of democracy in which the electorate decides on policy initiatives without elected representatives as proxies. A people's democracy. This society is a democratic form orientated towards economic equality with a focus on the non-privileged, mainly workers and soldiers. Political pluralism, Mining League, and Free Haven. They also have that. This is the first of this type of state. This is gonna be interesting. Military dictatorship. This dictatorship is a statocratic form of hierarchy, with the head of the military serving as the undisputed all-powerful ruler of the state. Stratocracy. The rule of the army. The military has a special place above all in this society. Soldiers and commanders have special status that grants them privileges and political rights. It's also a police state, an ordered stratocracy, and a stratocracy. The state and the military are effectively and constitutionally the same. Administrative positions are usually occupied by active or honorably discharged military officers. Military-industrial complex. The huge military-industrial complex is a major force in this society and has a major influence on military policy. Infrastructure construction. The foundation of this country has been shaped by building infrastructure. Foundation of this country has been shaped by building infrastructure. Okay, political pluralism, functional architecture, streamlined process, Republican ideas though. This society is fully infused with the idea of civic virtue, with every citizen being heavily concerned in the governance of the state as a whole. Pioneer spirit. This society always dreamed of one day reaching for the stars. Now they have done so. They are looking to carve out a new life in space. Yes. Okay. Naval traditions. With a long history of navigation and naval warfare since before the discovery of spaceflight, this society takes pride in its naval traditions, which makes sure to uphold and practice. Center of trade. This planet was frequently visited by otherworldly traders as a regional center of trade. Energy supremacy. This society was built on the ideal energy as the basis of everything, from means of transaction to weaponry. So yeah, quite a. You'll notice all these states are pretty basically the same. Now this one's slightly different. Political pluralism, cosmic scale libertarian, mining league, but materialism. This society was constructed in the belief that matter is the fundamental substance in nature and that all things, including mental aspects and conscious, are results of material interactions. Cramming education. Pontificate. Well, they're theocratic, but they're a pontificate, so they have, like, a head of the church, like the Pope. They can, basically decide where people live and work in their state. Police state. They're a police state. So they, have a police force that makes sure, that looks where everyone is. They know where everyone is, sort of thing. So yeah, Imperialism. A strong sense of nationalistic pride and imperialistic ambition permeates all layers of this society. Glorious isolation. It is not that our country is isolated from the world, but that the world is isolated from our country. Well, this is gonna hurt, ain't it? I'm sure this will hurt for a lot of Americans. Congressional Republic. This republic is a democratic form of oligarchy where legislative and executive powers emerge together in a Congress occupied by elected representatives of the population with uncontested governing authority. Functional architecture, political pluralism, neoliberal, materialism. We saw that just recently. We read that quite recently. Like, you always read this. This society was constructed in the belief that matter is the fundamental substance in nature, and all things, including mental aspects and conscious, are results of material interactions. And they're individualist, so, well, I mean, they have better research, but they have higher consumer goods upkeep. Yes. And the reason why I'm being very, 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 very quiet is because someone's on a phone call, so that's why I'm being very quiet. Judicate. This dictatorship is a democratic form of hierarchy where the ruler in charge of supervising the legal system and reinforcing the law and reforming the law is to ensure efficient governance. Is in charge of supervising the legal system and reforming the law to ensure efficient governance. Functional architecture. Yes. Intellectual dynasty. Yes, it's a monarchy. This empire is a genocratic form of monarchy with a ruling dynasty that finds the most intelligent individuals of the empire to marry them into the royal family and improve the intellectual capacity of future monarchs. Center of trade. They were a regional trading hub. Only the intelligent may rule, basically. Generocracy, where the most intelligent individuals are permitted, like, the leaders in government. The role of the intelligent, the society values reason and critical thinking so much that only the most intelligent individuals are permitted to have a say in governing matters. Functional architecture, glorious isolation, and healthy habits. Yes. Here's a different one. Here's a different state that actually should be fairly interesting. Idealistic foundation. This society is based on an idealistic foundation of liberty and equality, characterized by a much reduced power of the central government authority. Political pluralism. Social welfare. This society is committed to helping the weak. It provides generous amounts of subsidies and safety nets for its citizens. Pop upkeep 20+. Social state. In this society, the state traditionally holds significant authority as it plays a key role in the protection and promotion of its citizens' economic and social equality and well-being. And isolationist. Yes. The USSR. Well, this should be interesting. Demagogic dictatorship. This dictatorship is a democratic form of hierarchy where a demagogue figure has hijacked the state apparatus and maintains political power through the unconditional support of the masses. Institutionalized collectivization. Institutionalized collectivization. The government controls industry and infrastructure to ensure a baseline of economic cooperation and fairness so that basic needs can be met. They have labor unions. Imperial economy. This empire exploits its subjects ruthlessly. Social state. Well, as you can see, keep communist dictatorship. This society is a strong regime of the General Secretary of a socialist party striving for social equality under the strong leadership of the General Secretary. Look at that. Defense, Army, Health 100 plus, Worker Pop Resource Output 5 plus. Look at that. But they are fanatic pluralist. We are all worthy of the same dignity and respect, as within each of us lies the potential for greatness, for a stroke of genius, and even to become the salvation of our species. Even if we are not all born equal, what does that matter when we are able to grow towards equality? Well, I'd be able to speed through this quickly. It'll be good. I'll be able to go through this quite fast. Messiah cult. This sect is a theocratic hierarchy ruled by a self-proclaimed Messiah who requires the followers to surrender all their belongings and renounce their free will as a test of faith for eternal salvation. For their service, this society considers it that's right at the state to decide where its citizens live and work. Imperial cult. This society has a dominant state religion where the ruler is worshipped as a living deity. Theocracy. The rule of the divine. This society is governed by a single individual regarded as a divine entity who wields supreme authority over everyone else. War cult. This society follows deities of battle and have elevated their arts of war and fighting to near perfection as a way of showing their faith. So, well, think of it like, the Vikings, basically. Police state. Well, I think dissent population repressive society is carefully monitored and controlled by a large internal police force. Has a large internal police force that suppresses population. Let's see. Nothing new to show you here. But cutthroat, they're theocratic, they're a police state, they have covert service, they're imperialistic. Kleptocratic, imperialism. No, that isn't new. Here's a new one. A new trait. Oh, and actually, this is also very new. The stakes cannot be higher as we reach into the vast, uncharted expanses of the galaxy, for we are gambling with the very survival of our species. Never trust the alien. Its false smile hides an unknowable mind. Cakerostocracy. A cocracy is a government run by the least qualified politician or citizen. Many elites exercise their ability to line their pockets while they occupy citizens with day-to-day life. This government, run by greed, can sometimes move in expert directions. This government, run by greed, can sometimes move to expert directions. Yes. Intended ignorance. Members of the society have been brainwashed by the state so that they don't care too much about the world. Buried in state-provided entertainment and knowledge, they are easily controlled by the government. Easily controlled by government propaganda. Technocracy, streamlined processes, functional architecture, aristocratic republicanism. This society is an equal republican system among the aristocracy. Excuse me? Among the aristocracy, by hereditary nobles, and The ethics of the aristocracy ensure the equality of society. Industrial capitalism. Development and research shall revolve around development and research shall revitalize society and make it more prosperous. They're a hereditary. They're an elective kingdom. Yes, scientific administration, but this is an elective kingdom. This kingdom is an aristocratic form of oligarchy where the prince-electives gather together in the House of Lords to elect a new monarch among them, and serve as an advisory body. Yes. Oh. Paternal aristocracy. This society has an entrenched nobility that occupies the upper echelons of society. Covert service. This society considers it the absolute right of the state to decide where its citizens live and work. Pompous purist. A society so utterly convinced of their own superiority that any attempt at diplomacy not initiated by themselves will be utterly ignored. Religious elitism. This society believes that they are chosen by God and that anyone other than themselves who can receive God's salvation is lowly. Legalist empire. Let's see. So, legalist empire. This empire is a derivative from monarchy with a monarch that embodies the ultimate interpretation of the law. Imperialism, covert service, police state. We have, well, a state ruled by judges, basically, is what this says anyway. This is a state ruled by judges, uncontrolled birth rate. The people in this society always making more babies and raising them up in a way to counter widespread death, even though technology advances and technology advances and the death rate plummeted. So what are the bonuses that gets? Venus 10 endless reproduction camp. Pop growth speed 30. Okay, functional architecture, political pluralism, diplomatic corps. This society has a long tradition of rhetoric and debate, and celebrates those who are able to get their way using only words. Honest negotiator. This country is considered honest by other countries and is trusted in trade and diplomacy. Environmental democracy. This society is a moderate democratic system based on dealing with environmental problems and protecting nature, and each citizen has a keen sense of the environment. So, libertarian, pacifist, fanatic, materialist, ecocentric. Every step forward that our species has made, every scientific discovery, every monument to our greatness, that has all been built upon a foundation given to us by the biosphere, our home planet. The biosphere of our home planet. Now that we are able to, it's time to ensure that nature's gift can continue to be given to the next generations. Okay, nothing new here. Reanimators, theocracy, police state, militant zealots, caste system. Ooh, now this is a different one. Demonic empire. This empire is a theocratic form of demonic monarchy where the population lives in a terror under the yoke of a demonic ruler who demands blood tributes from his subjects. By the way, anybody that's wondering why I'm, like, skipping a lot of details or maybe not doing all of them, it's because I have so many that a lot of them just repeat. So it's completely, like, it'll take me ages